It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
We do have a lot of people saying, please wait for us. We're going to be coming into the market next month once we can apply to be on this scheme. Speaking from experience, when the scheme was at 700K, 800K, 900K, once those are implemented, it has really driven the prices up to that mark of where the scheme sort of lands.
And that is Jasmyn in Sydney on our Thursday morning real estate breakfast as we cover all corners of the Australian property market every morning, 7 days a week, your property news, your trends and market fluctuations. And you know, with over 1,300 property episodes, you get to be completely updated on what is happening in your local area. It is a Thursday, September the 25th. Yes, October is getting ever closer. And a report from the Property Council of Australia. Now, this is pretty serious. It is showing that essential workers like teachers, nurses and police, etc. in Canberra are now largely unable to afford housing there, even with dual incomes. Detached homes are beyond reach for many, and rents are now consuming up to 40% of incomes for lower paid workers. Then on the other side of the coin in Sydney, there is a major proposal underway to redevelop ageing hotels in Darwin Harbour. Now, this is good news because the plan includes replacing Novotel and Ibis suites with new hotel brands, with the upside of adding about 1,000 residential units. However, some concern has been raised about shifting from tourism to residential focus in a precinct traditionally orientated around events and visitors. So, you know, you can't please everybody, can you? On one side, we've got 1,000 residential units and it's an upgrade for the hotel. But no, there is always a negativity that has got to creep into it. Let's go to Sydney right now and catch up with Jasmyn Calgaro from Ray White in Penrith. And Jasmyn, good morning and welcome into the Real Estate Breakfast. That's the point, eh? You can never please everybody when it comes to real estate.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is hard to please everybody and keep everybody happy.
Now, you were telling me that you've been pretty happy over the last 10 years working in real estate. I said to you off air just last week, I spoke to a couple of people, real estate agents that have been going 12, 14 years, straight out of school. And you're another person, 10 years in, straight out of school, although your parents did want you to go to university. You went to university, but it wasn't for you.
Yeah, you're right. I did go to university for a short period. I think I lasted about one term. But yeah, it just wasn't for me. And I really wanted to do real estate. And yeah, I've been here 10 years now and I haven't looked back.
How did that all sort of get going for you? Like the desire to get involved in the real estate industry at such a young age?
I think what sparked it was when my parents were selling the childhood home I grew up in. It sort of just opened up this opportunity of real estate, which I hadn't really thought of before. I just absolutely love it, honestly. 10 years and I still love it like it's the first day.
It's quite interesting being 10 years because so much has happened in the last 10 years. I mean, we've gone through the pandemic. I mean, the first 5 years, quite different to the second 5 years, eh?
Definitely. I mean, when I got into the market in 2015, it was pretty strong. And then we had COVID and yeah, it's always been unpredictable, but it's always been quite strong where we're based. So yeah, I'm pretty lucky in that regard.
Now, tell us a little bit about your area, because I noticed that in Sydney West, homes in Penrith and Mackay, they are moving faster than anywhere else, fueled by demand in the city's more affordable pockets. And then if we go to Jamisontown, which is where you are, and Warrington County near Penrith, properties are spending as little as 12 days on the market. So there's a reasonable amount of heat.
Yeah, I think it's no coincidence that obviously the Macarthur and Nepean region are doing so well, that the airport will be right in the middle, but more so the affordability aspect as well. And we have units right up to acreage available. So it is very well rounded in that regard. And yeah, I think the affordability aspect is the main thing.
Now, affordability among first home buyers, that is one of the reasons that people are moving into your region. And they're sort of coming from suburbs out, 3 or 4 suburbs away, where they just can't afford to buy, maybe stay close to mum and dad and the family.
Yeah, we have noticed, especially in the last 12 months, that we are getting a lot of people into the market that we haven't quite met yet. They're coming from Blacktown, Parramatta, Kellyville, whatever the case, but just into that Penrith LGA where it is a lot more affordable to get their foot in the door.
Now, first home buyers, you are talking to a lot of them. We've got the first home buyers scheme, which is coming up on the 1st of October. Very, very close now. Very exciting for a lot of these first home buyers. Are you starting to hear that excitement build?
We sure are. We have obviously had the scheme in place at $900,000 for a few years now. With our median house price being $950,000 here in Penrith, it is locking those first home buyers out a little bit at this stage. So I think that the new scheme coming in is very exciting, and it means that they're going to have a fair chance to get into properties like this.
So just expand on that, because more opportunity, more capacity, of course, in terms of the amount of money that they can borrow. Just give us a sense of some of those conversations that you're having around that whole issue. And you lump in with that, of course, the rate, the interest rate coming down.
A lot of people are waiting for it, even though the market has been very positive this month and the previous months. We do have a lot of people saying, please wait for us. We're going to be coming into the market next month once we can apply to be on this scheme. Speaking from experience, when the scheme was at $700,000, $800,000, $900,000, once those are implemented, it has really driven the prices up to that mark of where the scheme sort of lands.
We are talking to Jasmyn, and she is in Jamisontown, and just some details here from PropTrack data. It does show that prices have climbed 6% in Jamisontown and 11% in South Penrith. That is over the past year. All right, when we come back, we'll talk more about this area and what Jasmyn is up to in Jamisontown. We'll do that after this.
Decode the property market with insider knowledge and insights to better navigate your real estate journey.
Good morning to you, Sean. Welcome back to the Real Estate Breakfast. Yes, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Moving out of Dallas, Texas, into the hot market of Sydney.
Probably the best thing they have going for them here is that they've been earning US dollars and can bring some of that extra power over to Australia, where obviously the dollar is quite a bit weaker. I think for most, coming to Australia, and especially a market like Sydney, there is a bit of a sticker price shock. Not just in the level of house prices, but also, where house prices sit relative to incomes and, just how much longer we're paying off our housing and paying off our houses and how much more deposit that we need to stump up to get in the first place. So you're exactly right. The closer you get to the water, the harder it gets, but wish them all the best.
It's a real thing when you look at the exchange rate with the American greenback, and because people can work from home, people can actually outsource their services anywhere around the world, and that is a real buffer. If you are being paid in US dollars, what a fantastic thing that is, especially if you're a first-time buyer, and the ability to just gain all of that extra money when you convert it over.
At the moment, and over the last couple of years, it definitely would have worked in your favour, but it's not necessarily always going to be the case. So, if you are earning in another currency, you're assuming risk, because if it swings back the other way, you can also get bitten.
Let's explore together the power of real estate.
And it is a Real Estate Thursday. Where has our working week gone? Jasmyn is with us, and we are talking about Jamisontown and also some of the other local suburbs. You might be in one of those suburbs listening this morning saying, don't forget about us. I think MacArthur is another area that has been moving pretty well. Just in terms of the first home buyers scheme coming up on the 1st of October, a lot of real estate agents, they love dealing with first home buyers, but sometimes it's not always that easy, because people will say, yes, really interested in this property. You will go down the rabbit hole with somebody, and then you discover, they actually don't have the deposit altogether. This is a frustration that a lot of real estate people feel the sharp end of. How bad has that been for you over the last few years leading us up to this point?
Yeah, look, like you said, it is very exciting dealing with first home buyers and being a part of that big milestone in their lives. But you do often get buyers coming through not knowing where to start, which is fair considering that they've never done it before. You know, they just might be having a sticky beak to see what their money gets them. Now with the new scheme coming into place, we're going to have a lot more buyers able to get into the market. Obviously, they only will be required to have a 5% deposit and they'll be avoiding lenders' mortgage insurance. You know, getting that 5% deposit together might be a little bit more tangible than getting the full 10%.
What would your advice be? Because there are first home buyers listening right now. What would you say? Hey, make sure you do this and this before you get in touch with a real estate agent.
Yeah, I think obviously just looking at properties in the market, seeing what a 5% deposit would get you and how much you need to save. And obviously speaking to a broker, which is something that we often help our clients with, putting them in touch with the right people. I do understand why buyers want to have a look around and see what's out there so they know what they need to be striving for.
And what about those mortgage brokers and the lack of engagement with a lot of first home buyers? They just don't sort of tap them on the shoulder and say, I need help here, please help me. They seem to think that it's a better idea just to try and negotiate with the bank on their own, which is not a good idea.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what I tell first home buyers all the time. Speak to a broker, find the best deal for yourself and your situation. But of course, a lot of people, when they're doing this for the first time, they don't know that. So I am happy when they come and start to look at open homes because I can give them that advice that they need and get them in touch with the right people.
Jasmyn, I think you're going to be pretty busy between October and the end of the year. Are you bracing yourself for what is coming down the line?
Yes, usually September is very busy and it has been busy, but there are a lot of owners waiting for October to put their home on the market and there are a lot of buyers waiting to buy in October. So I think next month and right up until Christmas is going to be very busy and yeah, I'm definitely preparing accordingly and getting the team ready for that.
Now, just before I let you go, Jamisontown, how many homes are in the area there?
I believe there's around 2,000 and then you've got South Penrith, which is very much a similar suburb right next to each other and I believe that's around 5,000.
And did you give us a unit median house price?
Yeah, so in the Penrith LGA, you're looking at $950 for a house, which was back in 2022 was only $850 and then units have stayed pretty strong around a median sale price of $560.
All right. Well, you enjoy your Thursday. Enjoy that big run-up, that long run-up between now and Christmas time. Thanks so much for coming on to the Real Estate Breakfast this morning.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
If you're a new listener, welcome. We talk to the most knowledgeable real estate experts across Australia every day from 6 a.m.
A lot of our builders are sort of essentially just tired of the regulation. They're leaving the industry because an industry that was once very rewarding, that was something that was very creative and indeed quite profitable, is now not the case. It's just really, really difficult to build homes in Australia. It shouldn't be this difficult.
Then, if you look at it at the other end, you're trying very much to attract new blood into the industry. You got two different things happening at both ends of the scale. As the managing director, this must be very, very frustrating for you, Jocelyn.
We've estimated that about almost 50% of a house and land package in Sydney is fees, taxes and additional charges. If they can be cut and they can be sped up by reducing regulation, then we can not only reduce the burden of red tape on builders, but also reduce the cost to the consumer as well.
We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.